Well, good morning, folks. Ken Ring of www.predictweather.com. Well, you could say that our winter has just about started here in New Zealand. In the central North Island area, Mount Egmont has just received some snow today, and we're supposed to be still in our summer. So, but this is the thing that we've always been predicting, that the winter would click in early and it would be a longer season. So the reason for the snow and the change in weather is that there's a few things happening over the next few days. The perigee, that's when the moon comes closest to the earth for 27 days, will be upon us tomorrow, the 28th, and it's going to be a perigee number 8 for the year, which means the 8th closest for the year that the moon is to the earth. And whenever you get a perigee, and especially quite a powerful one like that, you get a lot of exaggeration to weather events that were going to happen or that were happening anyway, and that's what perigee does. It adds exaggeration. What the full moon does, and the full moon is coming 3 days later, 3 days away, and the full moon allows more heat to get to the equator in the cyclone season, which allows for more evaporation, which means volumes of stuff going around in the atmosphere, running around and becoming a cyclone. So the full moon in perigee is the cyclone breeder. As well as that, the moon is crossing the equator heading south on its trek between the hemispheres. It's doing that on the 29th. So you've got all three things happening. Any one of those three are earthquake times, so I'm expecting the next 4 days or so to be fairly earthquake prone period. Now, you don't have to worry about tsunamis; they're very rare. It's just that the numbers of earthquakes, and they occur every day anyway, but they will slightly increase. They tend to cluster around the full moon time, and this has been busted wide open in recent times. If you want to know about earthquakes in the moon, just Google Moscow researchers full moon earthquakes, and you'll get the whole story that statistically more earthquakes happen around the full moon, because what's happening is there's a king tide in the water, there's also a king tide in the air, and there's also a king tide in the land. The whole land moves up and down about 8 inches a day to meet the moon as it transits over, and when it's perigee, well, it does it even more so, up to 50 centimeters a day. Of course, we can't compare that to anything, so we don't know what's happening. We don't actually feel ourselves going up or anything. But that's how you get soil. Rocks grind themselves up all the time, and that's how you get sand at the beach. The shells are grinding because everything's going up and down all the time. This perigee is when the moon rises due east. So if you're looking for it and looking to see how big it is, get in a place where you can see it rising around about 5 p.m. and so you'll be wanting to look due east, and you'll see it coming up, a big grey ball. Now, the Australian cyclone is moving down east very slowly, but it should pick up speed over the next few days, and I'm picking over next week it'll come down and possibly affect the Queensland coast with some rain. The barometer, I'm expecting that to drop around about the 30th, because the barometer goes the opposite way to the tide. When the tide is really high, the barometric pressure is lower than normal, and it's quite low around the place at the moment. I think yesterday it was 984 hectopascals in Ireland. I'm not quite sure where it was here. So anybody who's a fisherman, I'd go fishing Monday to Wednesday. I wouldn't even bother going round about now because it's only average. And I think Monday to Wednesday, bite times 1 o'clock and 7, and that's AM and PM. The tides will be the king tides on the 30th and the 31st, so I'd say Tuesday, Wednesday would be really the best fishing days. Now, Easter's coming, so get ready for some more rain if you live in the northern half of the North Island. I'll be telling you about Easter rain for all three countries, New Zealand, Australia and Ireland, in the blogs that are in the next couple of days. So Ken Ring, www.predictweather.com. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow.